Hey, welcome to Evan's Motorcycle Repair, where we're not sure what we're doing, and we charge by the hour. Hope you got cash. Now, if you guys have been following along with my bobber project, my 88 Virago, this thing has been a nightmare since day one. It was my birthday not that long ago. Thanks, yep. Thank you. And I was getting my registrations renewed. So I was putting the new tags on the old bike there and realized that it has been 4 years that I've had this thing. And I've probably only ridden it maybe 100 miles. This thing has been a pain in my ass, and I promised myself that this video would not get made until that thing is running right. And that's on me. So in this video, you're going to notice that a lot of time passes. You may not notice because I may cut it up and do whatever, but just know that this is a month and a half of time. In between there, I got the Rona, and I'm doing fine. Again, thank you for your concern. Yeah, thank you. Feeling much better, but I'm back at it now. So I was right in the middle of actually working on this and filming this when I got sick, and that knocked me down for about a week, and then I kind of got back to it, but still wasn't 100%. So if there's a little bit where it's kind of low energy and whatever, I apologize in advance. I was kind of trying to power through it, but like I said, this video is not going to hit YouTube until this issue is resolved. Now, if you've been following along with this thing, you know that this thing has fought me every step of the way. I'm not going to go into great detail. If you want to see more of kind of all the troubles with this thing, I'll put links in the description, and you can go back and check those videos out. I've been fighting this thing, doing a ton of tuning, jet work, carb rebuilds, just over and over. I cut a lot of that out. I did away with a lot of the carb rebuild stuff and a lot of that. So if that's what you're here for, I have other videos where I do that. There is some in here where I get to the point where I figured out the issue and what the resolution was. If you guys are running into the same issue, I hope it helps. Big shout out to one of the Virago groups on Facebook. This guy posted a very detailed description of his issue, which matched mine exactly, and I'll try and put like a screen grab or something. So shout out to you, my guy, for coming up with this and figuring it out, and then putting a super detailed description of the parts to fix it and everything like that. So we're gonna dive into this thing. Again, it's kind of, jumps around a little bit, so I hope you can follow along. I'll do my best in, editing to kind of make this thing work, and it's finally fixed. I guess I'll have to ride it now. Weird. Anyway. So I skipped some of the disassembly here. You guys have seen me do that a bunch of times. Basically tore it all the way down to the plastic slides. And what you'll see here is that this O-ring is torn. Not only that O-ring, but all of the O-rings. Then we'll just get them put in here. A little bit of lube goes a long way here. And also lube up the O-rings. And these do only go in one way, so pay attention to how you're putting them in there. And then you can see it sits in there and just presses right down in there. Alright, well, I'm going to get these things thrown back together. We'll get them back on the bike and see how they do. So basically, yeah, after that last clip, I got the carbs thrown on, and that was about it. Pretty much the thing's just sat here since then, unfortunately. But hey, we're back at it now. So I'm gonna get the garage opened up here so I got a little room to work in, and we'll see if this thing will fire up. Get back to it. Well, let's try that again. I give it some choke. This thing's always been so rich that I've never had to give it any choke. Obviously, if you can tell, I've taken all my choke and all that assembly off. I can just reach down here and do it by hand because I have everything else pulled off. Hey, there we go. Choke it is. That's a good sign. Woo! Okay. Still wants choke. All right. Okay. Fuel light's on. I noticed I got a little bit of a leak down here. I don't know if you can see that, just dripping down. I have to look into that. I may have split a fuel line or something in the process of taking this tank on and off 1,000 times. But it was always kind of just jerry-rigged to start with, so wouldn't be bad to get that fixed up. Go back to choke. Okay, you're gonna fight me. You run off choke yet. That sounds like one cylinder. I may have to put plugs in it again. Huh? Okay. Okay. Don't worry, old girl. Someday it'll be your turn. Huh? My ears are ringing. Well, I don't know if that's lean backfire. I'm almost guessing it is, just because of the amount of choke this thing wants to run. But as soon as I take it off choke, it starts backfiring like that. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be pulling those carbs again and probably going back to my original jetting. This thing always did, when it ran great on the original jetting. It was just fouling those plugs up. I think I might bump both the jets back up and kind of see where we go from there. I've been debating putting an air fuel gauge on this thing just to really get an actual idea. Other than reading the plugs, I don't have any idea what this thing's doing the rest of the time. You know, if that's something you guys would be interested in, leave a comment, something like that, let me know. I can always, once I get this thing tuned in, I can always take it and, you know, throw it on the F-150, throw it on, you know, that. Maybe even throw it on the Ranger. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. And it sure would make this thing, tuning this thing, a heck of a lot easier. Otherwise, I guess we're going to go to the power of editing and, you know, pull these carbs back off and get them rejetted and see where we go from there. I might pull the plugs actually as well. I have one last set. I really didn't want to throw them in until I thought I was, you know, pretty close, so I could get a good accurate reading on it, but I guess the parts store always sells more. So, worst case, we'll go that route. Damn people blowing up fireworks. Just kidding, it's me. I'm still finding these things all over from 4th of July. I may or may not still have some left over, and I'm still blowing them off. But hey, that's the kid in me. You know, I get the bigger stuff for 4th of July. Still have a little bit left over, but you can't ever go wrong with like the, you know, 10,000 pack of bottle rockets. It just takes me back to being a teenager and, you know, having bottle rocket wars and fun stuff like that. But don't do that at home. You know, it's dangerous. I don't condone that. But yeah, good times. Alright, what the hell? You guys talked me into it. One won't hurt anything, right? That was a good one. Well, way up there. Alright, well, before you guys comment on this, I know. Alright, I know. Sometimes my level of half-assery knows no bounds. But, I'll show you what's leaking. Oh, jeez, that is on there. Well, I don't know if you guys can see that, but, oh, well, there goes that. The hose split right there. So, not a big deal. Those keen-eyed of you will notice that that is heater hose. So, don't use heater hose. Unfortunately, I didn't have any fuel line that big, and at the time, that's what I had, so I made it work. So now I got to replace that. Great. Alright, well, there it is. Yeah. Oh, guess what? I don't have any more. So, we're going to do, you know, the right thing here, and just flip it over. Should be fine. I'll get this thrown back together, and then we'll, you know, keep going on these carbs here. My other spectacular bit of engineering on this was I needed a 90-degree fitting for the tank here, and I didn't have one. But what I did have, just a long steel one, and I went ahead and heated it and bent it. You can see there, perfectly, you know, exactly the right fitting for what I needed here to just go into some rubber hose. But yeah, fits like a champ. Check that out. As you can tell, that's a beautiful piece of engineering, and it'll get the job done. Has this far, I guess. Now, if you guys really want to watch me take carbs apart, I've done it about 1,000,000 times on this bike, and just go back to one of the other videos, or earlier in this video. By now, I'd hope you guys had seen enough of that. I'm just going to skip past this part, if that's okay. So, like I said, go back, watch one of the other videos if you really want to see this. You know, also, if you guys... Oh, leaking gas. Also, if you guys are enjoying the bike content, you know, I'm not really a bike guy, but I don't mind working on it, and they're fun to ride. I just got word that I might have a couple more bikes to be working on, and if it all works out, they'll be pretty neat bikes. So, you know, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, follow along, and like I said, we might have a couple cool projects coming in pretty soon, so stay tuned. Anyway, I'm gonna go get these over on the bench, change those jets out, and get them slammed back on here. Hopefully for the last time. In case you're curious, I'm going from 130 main jets to 132 5s, and on the pilot side, I'm going from some 40s that I maybe slightly hogged to maybe a 41 to a 42.5. That's what I originally had in it, and they seem to work really well other than the bike flooding out, which hopefully I've got the bike flooding out issue resolved. So we're going to go back to them, see what we got. Alright, well, I haven't even hooked the fuel line back up. I did prime it just with what was left in the fuel line and my reserve tank, if you want to call it that. These do have an electric fuel pump, so it pulled all that fuel through, hopefully filled up the carbs. And, oh yeah, I don't have the throttle hooked up. It doesn't need that to run. I'm just curious to see if this thing will... fire off and at least idle, where, as you saw, it wouldn't really before. So, let's give it a whirl. That was promising, but I don't like that the fuel pump's just sitting there running dry. So, maybe I will hook the fuel line back up. I kind of wanted to keep it off because I think that's why that other piece of hose tore, is because usually when I'm tuning on this thing, I'll leave all that fuel line hooked up and everything and just flip the tank around backwards. But, you know, whatever. I'll get it hooked back up. We'll come back to this. Alright, let's try this again. Fuel tank hooked up. It's just sitting here. Throttle hooked up this time. And, it's primed. Let's try it out. Bastards. Be a little choke. Maybe I need to put the spark plugs in it. Well, we'll go that route. Alright, fine, one more. Then I swear we're done. Yes, I know, I can be a child sometimes. don't even know what to say right now. It's awesome. Well, I got the carb back on again. I rejetted it again. Found out after, I believe, the last clip, you guys will know better than I have because it's been like a week since I did it, that, yeah, I ended up thinking it was lean just because it was kind of spitting, sputtering under load, stuff like that. Yep, basically pulled the plugs out and they were about 90% fouled, so they were misfiring. So had to pull the carbs again, went back to the smaller jets I had in it before. The only difference this time is that I put a shim on the needle side on the main jet on each of them. And yeah, I'm pretty happy to report here. I don't know if this will focus in, but this is the old plug. I just got done dialing this thing again, and that's the new plug. I could maybe stand to go up one heat range on the spark plug, but after some actual drive time and stuff like that, we'll see. But like I said, this is the closest that I've ever been to this thing running right. It's, yeah, nice and tan, and, you know, burn in well. Everything looks pretty darn good. Way better than these, which I'd get, you know, basically the tuning done, and they would be looking like that. So I am extremely happy with that. We'll see. I almost don't believe it. It's been so long messing with this thing, it's almost hard to believe that I actually got this thing dialed in. So it's, I'm going to be cautiously optimistic at this point. Well, I'm going to finish some fine tuning on this thing and, you know, really try and dial it in completely and hopefully go for a ride, and we'll pull these things back out. Luckily, if these things keep looking like this, I have a spare set for just whenever, regular maintenance. Sure. Anyway, yeah, thought I'd just check back in with you guys and let you know. Oh. It's hot out. I'm tired. But hey, guess what? I took the thing out for a quick ride, you know, finished kind of dialing the bugs out of it. I pulled the plugs out of it again. I think I got it. It's running good. It seems to have the power that it should. Everything seems to be working. I do still need to stop at the gas station because I just took it around the block a couple times. She's getting pretty low. It's flashing the old low fuel light at me, so I'm sweating. I'm tired. I think we may end this one off here. As much as I want to take this thing out for a ride, I need to get inside, see what the kids are doing, make sure they haven't, you know, burnt the place down or anything like that. And, yeah, maybe I can wrangle somebody into doing a little camera work for me, get a little better shot of it riding, and you know, focus a little more on that now that I can actually ride it. I know it doesn't seem like it, but I am so excited for that. That is such a weight off my shoulders. This thing has been just a nightmare for the last 4 years, and I'm glad to have it. I enjoy the custom side of it and learning new things about it, but man, when I'm on my 100th time of pulling those carbs, I just don't even want to come out here and look at the thing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you can pick something up, maybe something useful, that O-ring trick. You know, hey, it worked for me. Maybe that's the problem you're fighting. Like I said, any of the other stuff, I hope it helps. If you go back and watch some of my other videos, kind of play catch up on what's been going on with this thing, if you hadn't seen it already. I appreciate you guys following along, for those of you that are, and you know, for any new viewers that we may have, welcome. It's not just all about motorcycles. If you like trucks, cars, anything custom, lifted, lowered, I do a little bit of everything. So I hope you stick around. I hope you enjoy some of the other videos while you're here. Leave me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe. It's free. Why not? If you don't like the channel, you can always unsubscribe later. For those of you that are subscribed, I definitely appreciate you guys. I appreciate you hanging out with me and following along with the series. And I guess that'll do it. So we'll catch you next time for some good riding on this thing. Maybe ride it out to my dad's and check out some possible future projects. Maybe a little teaser there. Anyway, we'll catch you guys later. Thanks.